bad. Yep, we're going right to this. It's not only getting bad, but this movie is getting 0 points. Yes, I'm giving it 0 points. This movie right here, this one is really bad. So, remember guys, remember when the first Megamind movie, remember that movie? Remember how that one was, a masterpiece? Remember that? It basically was a masterpiece with a capital M. This one is is crap with a capital C. This movie is really, really bad. This movie is really bad. This movie takes everything that made the original movie and makes it an absolute dumpster fire to watch. And I'm gonna tell you guys why. So you guys know the original Megamind movie, Megamind, we get to see his story of a villain. We get to see that, he struggled, we saw him, and how he started out as a villain and then basically became a hero. Well, this movie turns him into a complete jackass and a freaking idiot. Like, he's a freaking jackass and an idiot in this movie. Basically, what happens is, apparently he has, I don't know why this is the case, but he has these superheroes. He was part of super villains, I should say, he was apparently part of in the past, even though we've never seen them before. We've never seen them before. They were never mentioned in the first movie at all, but for some reason he was part of this evil leader group and all that, and apparently they're out to go with their plan and all that, and apparently he has to pretend he's part of this crew here, of these evil villains and all that, to apparently, to find out, to stop them and all that, so to come up with a plan to stop them. And, the thing is, here's the thing, he's their excuse in this movie for why Megamind cannot stop them is there's 5 of them. Was it 5 or... No, I think it's 4. It's 4 of them, and Titan, there was 1 of him. But I'm Megamind's got all these gadgets, he's got all these gadgets and all that, and, he basically is doing all this shit in this movie, trying to, play innocent and all. He's trying to play innocent and all that, just to trick him and all that, apparently, and all that. It drags the movie on very long, because that's the thing, not only does it doesn't make any sense, but it drags the movie on very long. Most of the jokes are not very funny. I mean, there are a few in this movie that are funny, the dark guy of the Doom's guys. I will say him getting a little toy and all, showing a soft side. That was a little bit funny, but most of the jokes in this movie are not very funny and all that. And I hate the way he treats Minion in this movie too. Minion is, in this movie, he treats him like crap too. He's not part of the team. And we get shit like that drags on too long, and then, that's the thing, it drags on way too long, and, here's the best part. Apparently Minion is not allowed to be called Minion in this movie because Universal owns DreamWorks, and apparently now, I mean, you could say, well, this could be just a rumor on the internet, but they flat out made a joke breaking the fourth wall of he had to change his name because from Minion to Chum because of merchandise shit. So you're telling me that they had to change the name Minion because of the fucking minions from Despicable Me? That makes absolutely no sense. Now you could say, well, Chum sounds better because, well, he's, because he's basically a good guy and all, and not a villain. And usually villains have minions. And I mean, yeah. But I don't know, calling him Chum, it does not have, it does not have the same thing to it. It just sounds kind of weird. I mean, yeah, he's a fish guy and all that, but calling him Chum, it doesn't have the same effect of calling him Minion. So that doesn't make any sense either. I mean, that's probably more the higher-ups on the other side, but it's still stupid. And, not only that, but also most of the voice actors in this movie that were in the first one are not there. Will Ferrell's not there. A lot of the other actors are not there. They're replaced with sound-alikes. And Megamind's voice actor does not sound very good. Like, it does not sound like, Minion's voice actor, I'm gonna call him Minion. I don't give a shit. I'm gonna call him Minion because that's his name. I don't care if we have the yellow guys and all. I'm gonna call him Minion because I want to, because that's what his name is. His voice actor doesn't sound too off, but like Megamind's does. Like, I mean, I can see he's trying to do an impression, but it's kind of like Adventures of Buck Wild, all over again, but with this movie. Because they did that with the voice actors there. They replaced them with sound-alikes, and they sound off. And that's what happened here. They did the same thing here. Megamind, doesn't sound like as well. I mean, I get it, sometimes celebrities could also be expensive too. But, also, it doesn't sound like Will Ferrell, and I'm sure they probably could have gotten Will Ferrell to play it. And all that, at least get Will Ferrell, because he's the main guy. And all that, and that's the problem. They replaced them so the voice acting sounds off. And then we also have, not just that, but the animation, I will say, doesn't look as bad as Buck Wild, but it still doesn't look very good here either. Like, it definitely looks like a TV movie special, because that's what this movie basically is. It's supposed to be for a movie special. Like, it's supposed to be, the whole point of this movie was for a special, It wasn't meant to be, well, I mean, it was supposed to be a sequel and then go to a spin-off, but this obviously is not a sequel to the Megamind movie. This is, like, something different, because, again, they kind of undo some crap in the first movie a bit, too, and all that, too. Kind of like making Megamind more weaker and not very smart and all that. And, yeah, I mean, again, Megamind sometimes was foolish in the original movie, too, but that's the thing, he was entertaining, and yeah, he got his butt kicked by Metro Man quite a few times. But again, he has all his gadgets, and I don't think these superheroes are these supervillains were as powerful as Metro Man. But even then, I'm like, again, causing all these problems and all, and trying to make the movie drag out, it makes it very hard to watch. Like, it really is hard to watch. It's very hard to watch and all that, and not to mention, we also got, like, there's jokes in this movie, too, where we have, well, we have like Minion working at a donut. I think it was a donut shop. I'm pretty sure it was a donut shop, which kind of goes nowhere. I think it was just stupid. It was just a time waster. And then we also have this freaking little girl here. God, I hate her so much. I fucking hate her so damn much. She's like, look at this technology we have. Like it's all in your face and all that. And apparently Roxanne's also sick of sick of being a news reporter. Like, even though we've never seen her really tired of it before, she never seemed like she hated being a news reporter before. And I don't know, it just seems kind of weird and all that. Because that's actually where the climax kind of comes into, because, the climax kind of comes in, like, basically, the villains exceed in their plans, and then apparently the mayor runs away and all that, and apparently, out of nowhere, he gets fucking fired from his job, even though they never once hint at him being a bad guy either. So it feels very forced to have him get fired too. And I mean, yeah, of course he's gonna fucking run away. I mean, the ground is like coming up in the air, and everybody was doing that. Everybody. And yeah, he ran away when they were trying to help, but I'm like, what the hell what are they gonna do, like, all that shit felt very forced just to put Roxanne, because Roxanne became the mayor, which again, makes absolutely no sense, because, well, it makes no fucking sense for her to become the mayor, because, again, she's a fucking news reporter, and yeah, it shows that she was sick of her job, like, she didn't seem like she liked her job, which also doesn't make sense, but, my thing is, though, is it looked like she was gonna do other stuff, because they were showing off, like, videoing and all that stuff, and all that with this little girl and all that, and yeah, the whole movie is just, it's a slob. Like, it is a fucking slob. It is a very slob, and that's the problem with this movie. That's the problem. Like, that's the thing. They could have gotten this movie right. They could have gotten this movie right. They could have gotten this movie right if they, like, actually, put effort into it and all. Instead they make it lazy and all that, and it felt like the writers were kind of just dozing off or something, writing this movie, because the writing is not very good in it, but the villains, like, I will say, the Dooms, the Doom guys, they could have actually been very good villains. But they pretty much just make jokes about that they're idiots. Well, it's not just them. Like, everybody in this movie is a fucking moron. But, my thing is, though, their jokes are like, who's in charge here? They keep fighting on who is in charge in this movie and all that too. And like I said, it's just jokes that are lazy and go on and on. And it's just not a very good movie. This movie is just boring. Like this movie is just bad. Like, it is bad. Yeah, it is just a disappointment. And all that, and, like, come on, DreamWorks, like, you guys could have done better. You guys could have done better. Like, you could have done better. Now, is this the worst movie I've seen? I don't think it's the worst one I've seen. I've seen worse, but it is definitely one of the worst ones I've seen so far. Definitely, and with DreamWorks, this one definitely is up there. It is definitely a very, very, very bad movie. Like, very bad movie. Like, it's very bad. But I think it's more boring than anything. Yeah, it's frustrating to watch, but I also think it's boring. But, like, rather, if I would say this movie is worse than, let's say, I don't think it's as bad as Lightyear from Pixar, because that was because Lightyear from Pixar was probably worse. But I don't know if I would say if it's worse than Buck Wild or not, because both of them, that's the problem. Both movies kind of have a similar problem. I feel like both of them felt like they were supposed to be more TV shows than anything. Which is what, and they were changed in the last minute to be movies. Because that's what happened with Megamind 2. It was supposed to be a TV show, and then it got turned into a movie. It was turned into a movie, I think, at last minute, I believe is what happened. I mean, we do have the TV show as well, this is kind of like what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be like a DVD, or, a movie, a direct-to-DVD movie or something like that, to, TV series. I mean, a lot of cartoons do that, or a lot of movies will do that as well. I think Disney did some of that too in the past. Like, some of their movies, I think, had, like, TV shows too. I'm positive, I think, like Tarzan and Jan, I think it might have been like that. I'm not sure. Because I think there was a lot of TV shows with that too. I don't know. But that's the problem. That's the problem too. It's like, again, like when you change stuff on the last minute, this crap's gonna happen too. And that's the thing. This movie was actually not supposed to be on my list. This movie and the one before it were not gonna be on my list. And actually, I think Kung Fu Panda 2. I think Kung Fu Panda 4 was actually going to be my last movie to review. But then these ones came out, and I kind of got behind on some stuff, because I actually planned some stuff ahead a little bit, so I wouldn't run into some problems. But then, I had a lot of problems going on behind the scenes, so, so everything kind of got dragged out a little bit anyway. I mean, it's okay. I mean, I was gonna review some of these movies eventually anyway, but yeah, this is one of those I definitely wish was not made. If they make a Megamind movie down the road, another one, I hope to dear God they either erase this one or retcon it. Because that's the thing, like I said, this movie could have worked. This movie could have worked if they brought back the old voice actors, and they actually, again, made the other villains threatening. They made them threatening. And actually, done some stuff with it, But that's the problem. Again, like I said, they didn't really do much with that, and, it just felt like stuff was just dragged on for a while. But that's the thing, That's what I'm saying. They could have done something else with it, but they instead do it like this. But yeah, I don't know. I don't have much else to say about this. I'm sure there's probably some things I'm probably missing in it, but that I'm not talking about here. But that's that's the problem. Like, I don't remember. Like, I watched the movie I think a few days ago. I believe. Yeah, I think it was a few days ago, and I already kind of forgot a bunch of the movie. But again, that's the problem. That's the thing, though. But I had to watch this movie twice. This is the one I had to watch twice, because it took me a little bit longer to get to the reviews than I thought it would with this. But this movie not very good. But I'm hoping that the next ones will not be as bad. Well, actually, I will say they shouldn't be as bad, but. Yeah, this movie definitely sucked. Definitely a really bad movie. I think it might even be worse than Shark Tales. And, Shark Tales, I didn't like Shark Tales. I didn't like that movie either. But that movie actually had stuff I did like. In this one, not a lot. Like I said, there were a few jokes in it. And like I said, I liked the Dooms guys a little bit with their powers and all that. And their designs don't look too bad, But I feel like they had wasted potential for them and all that. But anywho, I guess that's pretty much all I have to say here. I don't have a comment question for this, because I could not really think of one. I could have asked, what your guys' least favorite DreamWorks movie is, but I'm sure people probably would say this one, I guess I could have done second worst, you know, but I don't know. But anywho, I'm gonna go ahead and let things go from here. I will see you guys all in the next review. Sorry if things were more negative here, but I hated this movie so much. I hated it. It was such a disappointment. But like I said, DreamWorks, you guys could have done so much better. But, anywho, guys, remember to subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you guys in the next DreamWorks review, or next video in general, depending on what I do next, because I do have some videos planned. Anywho, Dash All Roads, out.